Have you ever wondered where the hooded sweatshirt under the uniform trend came from? Or how a player can lead the league in touchdown receptions and not be a Pro Bowler? We will take a look at a player who was drafted in 2007 and was a core receiver for a solid chunk of Aaron Rodgers' career. A Super Bowl champion, and last but not least, could have, if not should have been, one of the biggest meme-worthy plays had it happened today. So let's get started. Today we're talking about James Jones. James Jones was drafted out of San Jose State, where he had a rather uneventful career until his senior year, where he had put up 893 yards on 70 receptions with 10 touchdowns. San Jose State also used him as a running back and let him throw a few passes. There he had 11 carries for 76 yards and a score, as well as he went 2 for 6 for 57 yards and a score. For his career as receiver, he had 126 catches for 1,496 yards and 12 touchdowns. This did place him in the top 10 in school history for each category when he left for the 2007 draft. Moving on to when he's at the combine, he posted a 4.54 40, 11-foot 9 broad jump, a 4.2 shuttle, and a 7.06 cone. Not to mention an impressive 22 on the bench, which led all receivers. I was unable to find any mocks with him on it on a variety of sites, so I'm unsure where he's projected to go. However, in the third round, he was drafted at pick 78 by the Green Bay Packers, being the 14th wide receiver off the board. There, he joined Brett Favre for his last year, was able to slot in behind the second-year star Greg Jennings, as well as the savvy vet Donald Driver. In his first seasons, Jones was able to come out strong, being a consistent target for Favre, and if I remember correctly at the time, Driver being able to move into the slot full-time in 3 wide receiver sets. Jones caught his first touchdown pass in Week 4 against the Minnesota Vikings for 33 yards to put the game away in the fourth quarter. On the season, he finished with 47 catches for 676 yards and 2 touchdowns. Going forward after Favre, Jones ended up being a solid option for Rodgers over the next 4 seasons. During that time, he averaged 35 receptions for 507 yards and 4.5 touchdowns. He was an effective guy for Rodgers to target during this time, as he had a 66% first down rate. If you take away his touchdown grabs, it was closer to actually 75%. During this time, Jones was a part of Super Bowl 45 championship team, where he had 5 grabs for 55 yards. Then in 2012, James moved into the starting lineup and in hand had the best season of his career, where he ended up having 64 receptions for 784 yards, as well as leading the league with 14 touchdowns in a very balanced passing attack with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. He did continue with being a go-to target the following season. However, he regressed with only 3 touchdowns from a monster career season. And it was still a solid contributor in the passing game, posting a 59 receptions for 817 yards. He did miss 2 games on the year, which would be the first time since 2008 that he had missed any time at all. Moving on to 2014, where James Jones became a free agent for the first time in his career, and he ended up signing with the Oakland Raiders, on which he signed a 3-year, $10 million deal, where he was supposed to be then rookie Derek Carr's primary weapon. While he did lead the team in targets, 112, catches, 73, and touchdowns at 6, he was rather underwhelming and really only started 10 games. I think he actually ended up losing his starting spot towards the end of the season. But he also had the infamous double fumble in Week 2 against the Houston Texans. I will post a link to that in the video or in the description or a timestamp. But basically, he caught a pass up like the 40, fumbled it as he was trying to break away from a player, and ended up recovering it on the 1-yard line of the Texans. By far a very memorable moment in his career, if not the most memorable moment in his career, unfortunately. He would go on to be cut after the season and eventually sign with the Giants before being cut with them before the next season. The Packers did end up reaching back out to James Jones and giving him the vet minimum of $850,000. This turned out to be a great reunion for both parties, as the Packers had lost Jordy Nelson due to an ACL injury in the preseason. Jones' season donned the now iconic hoodie under the uniform during the season. Also in the season, he led the Packers with yards, 890, and tied for touchdowns with 8. He did all this on only 50 catches. After which, the Packers and Jones parted way once more. He remained a free agent until training camp, where the Chargers signed him. He did not make it out of camp with the team, and eventually he retired a Packer a few years later. He did finish his career with 433 yards, or finish his career with 433 catches for 5,861 yards, as well as 51 touchdowns. He finished his career in the top 15 all-time in catches, yards, and touchdowns with the Packers, and is now an analyst for the NFL Network. Jones outperformed those around him in the 2007 class, finishing 4th in both catches and yards, and 3rd in touchdowns. While he may not make the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I do see there being a possibility that the Packers could put him in their Hall of Fame, as he was consistent on the field and well-loved amongst the fan base. All in all, Jones had a great career. And I think with that being said, we're going to wrap up this video. If there are other athletes that you would like to see me cover going forward, please let me know in the comment section down below. I do plan on touching quite a bit on some of the others in the 2007 class, as I believe that there is about 7 or 8 players that could do really well to have a review of their careers, because you may have forgotten about them. Like I said, let me know in the comments below what you would like, if there's anybody you'd like to see. And as always, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.